Welcome to the channel KKP The Advocate. I am Krishna Prasad, Advocate. Whenever we try to search any legal subject in YouTube, mostly we don't find any video in English. So now in these videos, I'm not going to explain or say everything like a commentary book. I will go through the bare act. Basically, most of the students try to read the bare act, but because of the terminology or the sentences, most of the students start and quit early. So, without the waste of time, let us go through the act, the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. In this first video, we will go through the index where we can say the index of the act as the heart of the act, because we can find what is in the act, what this act says about, what are the provisions or sections about. There are totally 148 sections, isn't it? There is 143 section and 143A also. So we have this type of additional sections 5. We have existingly numberingly 148 sections. Additionally, we have 5 sections, and we got section 2 got repealed. All these sections are divided into chapters. We have 17 chapters herein. So the name of the act is the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. Here, let us go through the index very quick. This is the chapter 1 preliminary. Section 1, it says about short title, local extent, saving of usages relating to hundis, etc. Commencement. Section 2 got repealed, and section 3 interpretation clause, where we got the definition of banker. We have to go through the index definitely to know what actually this act says about. Mostly All India Bar Council examination aspirants focuses on the part of index to gain more marks. Okay, let us go through the next chapter, chapter 2 of notes, bills and checks. 4. Promissory note. 5. Bill of exchange. 6. Check. All this act says about these 3. So we have to remember 4, 5 and 6, these sections. Section 7. Dryer and drawee. Drawee in case of need. Acceptor. Acceptor for honor. Pay. 8. Holder. 9. Holder in due course. 10. Payment in due course. 11. Inland instrument. 12. Foreign instrument. 13. Negotiable instrument. The name of the act itself, Negotiable Instruments Act. So we have to read section 13 also. It is one of the important sections in this act. 14. Negotiation. 15. Endorsement. 16. Endorsement in blank and in full, endorsee. 17. Ambiguous instruments. 18. Where amount is stated differently in figures and words. 19. Instruments payable on demand. 20. Inchoate stamped instruments. 21. At sight on presentment. after sight. 22. Maturity, days of grace. 23. Calculating maturity of bill or note payable so many months after date or sight. Section 24. Calculating maturity of bill or note payable so many days after date or sight. 25. When day of maturity is a holiday. So now we completed chapter 2. Let us go through the chapter 3. Parties to notes, bills and checks. 26. Capacity to make promissory notes, etc. etc. Minor. 27. Agency. 28. Liability of agent signing. 29. Liability of legal representative signing. 30. Liability of drawer. 31. Liability of drawee of check. 32. Liability of maker of note and acceptor of bill. 33. Only drawee can be accepted except in need or for honor. 34. Acceptance by several drawees, not partners. 35. Liability of endorser. 36. Liability of prior parties to holder in due course. 37. Maker, drawer and acceptor principals. 38. Prior party a principal in respect of each subsequent party. 39. Suretyship. 40. Discharge of endorser's liability. 41. Acceptor bound although endorsement forged. 42. Acceptance of bill drawn in fictitious name. 43. Negotiable instrument made, etc., without consideration. 44. Partial absence or failure of money consideration. 45. Partial failure of consideration not consisting of money. 45A. Holder's right to duplicate of lost bill. Then chapter 4 of negotiation. 46. Delivery. 47. Negotiation by delivery. 48. Negotiation by endorsement. 49. 49. Conversion of endorsement in blank into endorsement in full. 50. Effect of endorsement. 51. Who may negotiate? 52. Endorser who excludes his own liability or makes it conditional. 53. Holder deriving title from holder in due course. 54. Instrument endorsed in blank. 55. Conversion of endorsement in blank into endorsement in full. 56. Endorsement for part of sum due. 57. Legal representative cannot by delivery only negotiate instrument endorsed by deceased. 58. Instrument obtained by unlawful means or for unlawful consideration. 59. Instrument acquired after dishonor or when overdue, accommodation note or bill. 60. Instrument negotiable till payment or satisfaction. By mistake I pronounced this sentence, this act 57th section inappropriately, so sorry for that. I will read it again. Legal representative cannot by delivery only negotiate instrument endorsed by deceased. Okay. Next, chapter 5 of presentment. 61. Presentment for acceptance. 62. Presentment of promissory note of first sight. 63. Drawee's time for deliberation. 64. Presentment for payment. 65 hours for presentment. 66 presentment for payment of instrument payable after date or site. 67 presentment for payment of promissory note payable by installments. 68 presentment for payment of instrument payable at specified place and not elsewhere. 69 instrument payable at specified place. 70 presentment where no exclusive place specified. 71 presentment when maker or etc. has no known place of business or residence. 72 presentment of check to charge drawer. 73 presentment of check to charge any other person. 74 presentment of instrument payable on demand. 75 presentment by or to agent, representative of deceased or assignee of insolvent. 75a excuse for delay in presentment for acceptance or payment. 76 when presentment unnecessary. 77 liability of banker for negligently dealing with bill presented for payment. Then chapter 6 of payment and interest. 78 to whom payment should be made. 79 interest when rate specified. 80 interest when no rate specified. 81 delivery of instrument on payment or indemnity in case of loss. Chapter 7 of discharge from liability on notes, bills and checks. Section 82 discharge from liability by cancellation, by release, by payment. Section 83 discharge by allowing drawee more than 48 hours to accept. 84 when check not duly presented or and dryer damaged thereby. 85 check payable to order. 85a drafts drawn by one branch of a bank on another payable to order. 86 parties not consenting discharged by qualified or limited acceptance. 87 effect of material alteration by endorsee. 88 acceptor or endorser bound notwithstanding previous alteration. 89 payment of instrument on which alteration is not apparent. 90 extinguishment of rights of action on bill in acceptor's hands. Chapter 8 of notice of dishonor. 91 dishonor by non-acceptance. 92 dishonor by non-payment. 93 by and to whom notice should be given. 94 mode in which notice may be given. 95 party receiving must transmit notice of dishonor. 96 agent for presentment. 95 party receiving must transmit notice of dishonor. 96 agent for presentment. 97 when party to whom notice given is dead. 98 when notice of dishonor is necessary. Then go through the chapter of 9 of noting and protest. 99 noting. 100 protest for better security. 101 contents of protest. 102 notice of protest. 103 protest for non-payment after dishonor by non-acceptance. 104 protest of foreign bills. 104a when noting equivalent to protest. Then chapter 10 of reasonable time. 105 Reasonable time 106, reasonable time of giving notice of dishonor 107, reasonable time for transmitting such notice. Then chapter 11 of acceptance and payment for honor and reference in case of need 108, acceptance for honor 109, how acceptance for honor must be made 110, acceptance not specifying for whose honor it is made 111, liability of acceptor for honor 112, when acceptor for honor may be charged 113, payment for honor 114, right of prayer for honor 115, dry in case of need 116, acceptance and payment without protest. Chapter 12 of compensation 117, rules as to compensation. Chapter 13, special rules of evidence 118, presumptions as to negotiable instruments of consideration, as to date, as to time of acceptance, as to time of transfer, as to order of endorsements, as to stamp that holder is a holder in due course. Then 119, presumption on proof of protest. 120, estoppel against denying original validity of instrument. 121, estoppel against denying capacity of payee to endorse. 122, estoppel against denying signature or capacity of prior party. Then chapter 14 of crossed checks. 123, check crossed generally. 124, check crossed specially. 125, crossing after issue. 126, payment of check crossed generally, payment of check crossed specially. 127, payment of check crossed specially more than once. 128, payment in due course of crossed check. 129, payment of crossed check out of due course. 130, check bearing non-negotiable. 131, non-liability of banker receiving payment of check. 131A, application of chapter to drafts. Chapter 15 of bills in sets. 132, set of bills. 133, holder of first acquired part entitled to. Chapter 16 of international law. 134, law governing liability of maker, acceptor or endorser of foreign instrument. 135, law of place of payment governs dishonor. 136, instrument made etc. out of India but in accordance with the law of India. 137, presumption as to foreign law. Chapter 17 of penalties in case of dishonor of certain checks for insufficiency of funds in the accounts. 138, dishonor of check for insufficiency etc. of funds in the account. 139, presumption in favor of holder. 140, defense which may not be allowed in any prosecution under section 138. 141, offences by companies. 142, cognizance of offences. 142A, validation for transfer of pending cases. 143, power of court to try cases summarily. 143A, power to direct interim compensation. 144, mode of service of summons. 145, evidence on affidavit. 146, banker here banks slip prima facie evidence of certain facts. 147, offences to be compoundable. 148 power of appellate court to order payment pending appeal against conviction. Schedule enactment actually repealed. Okay, basically why I'm just reading quickly. This index video must help the All India Bar Council exam aspirants. At the same time, those who actually want to by heart this index, so just they will listen to their ears and see by their eyes, just to know what actually this act says about what all these sections says about. So in the next classes we will discuss about chapter wise. So follow our channel for more videos at present related to the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881. In future we will make videos on the other acts also. Thank you.